I'm moving too far. Get to glass. Looking at a shooting star. Got more than a couple of people going mad. I swear they're rooting hard. Tell them I'd be big in the game like she went and got them breast implants. I said I'm moving too fast. Didn't even get a glance. I'm ready to eat up track like I'm seated in a restaurant. If you had swag like mine, you know it's best to flaunt. We aren't hating because you aren't. Shining like it's neon. Rock like kings of Leon. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, they never just have to leave. Shooting stars across the galaxy. I stand out, so don't be mad at me. Infiltrate, I'm with my strategy. When I turn up, they never just have to leave. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting. Yeah, shooting shots.
They can't do this anymore. This is not a test.
All right, everybody, welcome to Disclosure TV News. Yeah, I know I'm not showing you anything on the screen, so let's change that. Or let's not change that, whatever. There we go. Sorry about that. We had to redo a bunch of stuff because I'm running off my laptop instead of my PC to do a show, and so anyway, welcome to the show. I don't do very many live streams. So I'm occasionally on Twitter. Yeah, that's a joke. Occasionally is a joke. So, as most of you know, if you saw the thumbnail and what this show is, what this live stream is going to be about, it's about what happened to Dutchsinse a few days after the 6.4 and the 7.1 earthquake happened in Ridgecrest, California, which was odd in itself. Carol Palmer, thank you for joining. Like I said, I don't do very many live streams, so a lot of people don't watch them, but at the end of the day, usually about 400 or 500 people watch them. And I should probably start doing live streams, but I just don't have enough people to help me do it. So, and I usually give out a lot of intel. It just so happens that it takes a while to do that and to create a video. So anyway, like I said, if you all don't remember, um, Dutchsinse is very controversial with professional geologists and professional and government agencies. He's pretty famous and he's pretty controversial with uh, people like the USGS and the PNSN, the Pacific. The Pacific Northeast Seismic Network. So, if you all don't remember how all this started, I'm going to show you. So, I'm sure the thoughts of the 7.1 magnitude quake in Ridgecrest, California, are still fresh, and for those who endured the quake, may still feel a little uneasy about the future, about future quakes in the area. Most of you know this guy's Dutchsinse. He has developed his own tested and proven theory on earthquake forecasting. He has developed his own way of doing it. He uses the same facts as other geologists when it comes to earthquakes. However, he seems to be far more advanced and adept in forecasting earthquakes than geologists or the government agencies, like the USGS and the PNSN, where they openly admit they haven't made any advancement in the area of forecasting or predicting earthquakes. One geologist, Dr. Lucy Jones, even stated live on KTLA-5, I do have that video. I used to live in California, so I know I know about, all the news there. So, but she stated on KTLA-5 News that if anyone is forecasting or predicting quakes, they aren't using science to do it. And that was as she was giving a press conference during the 6.4 earthquake, when the journalists that were there were asking her questions about future earthquakes or about predicting earthquakes. Although the amount and level of science used to prove any theory in research doesn't have a set limit by any standards. Furthermore, history and the last 1,000 years proves that not attending or having limited education from an institute doesn't limit one's ability to prove or advance any scientific theory. As a matter of fact, philosophers of science and physicists like Galileo, Aristotle, or even Einstein were very much self-taught or proved science theory by simply thinking. Yeah, simply thinking. So anybody can prove a theory. You don't have to have an advanced degree to do that. If you understand the science and you understand what's going on, you don't have to have a government agency back you in order for it to be legit. And as I said, history has proved that. And the ability, and this is, I don't know if I probably made this up somewhere or somebody else did. I don't know. The ability to achieve in anything is only limited by one's imagination. And yes, I made that up. I think I may have heard that subconsciously somewhere, but I don't remember hearing it anywhere. If you've been following Dutchsinse, and most of you have for years, you know his method of forecasting quakes. He's willing to teach anyone who asks. However, some have a problem with this theory, like I said. Actually, some have a huge problem with it. Mostly professionals with degrees who have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars in acquiring an education just to achieve a minute glimpse of understanding into how our planet even works. Honestly, that's pretty depressing. So these people who feel that they have been attacking Dutchsinse for years, maybe 10 plus years even, professionals like the USGS calling him a fraud on live TV, individual professionals writing articles and launching huge campaigns to discredit him, not providing any evidence that his work or theory is even wrong, but only by using the old government-honored tradition of calling him a conspiracy theorist or someone that wears a tinfoil hat, Once those words are spoken, having evidence to back up a statement of fraud isn't even needed. Once the word conspiracy comes into play, people tend to run to the hills. They run the other direction, and you're called a crackpot. So, over the past few months, things have gotten a little rough for Dutch. His live streams have been interrupted. Access to data from government has been limited. YouTube is attacking his channel, deleting videos, demonetizing his channel, even going as far as to hide search results. Even a huge trolling campaign on Twitter where unknown individuals create multiple new accounts just tweet to him that he's wrong or a crackpot. That plot was easily foiled, and he's had his fair share of attacks and protesters, even where he said someone tried to swat him, pretending to, which is where a YouTuber is live streaming, and someone calls the police pretending to be you, saying you committed some horrible crime, and police bust into your home while people watch on live TV. No other info was given besides a tweet stating that had happened. Just to let you know, Dutch said he did say that happened. I'm not sure if he had ever provided anything that happened, but that's what he said. So let's get into the stuff I do know about the hacking incident. About the start of it. So, Dutchsinse had warned people in the SoCal area near Glen Avon, Southern California, that there may be a large quake in the coming days. Well, it happened. And the powers that be didn't like that very much. And people started going after him again. So if you don't remember what that video was, I'm going to show you. So here's that video. And it's just a piece of it because I don't want to get in trouble for copyright. But it's just a piece of it. And it's of him predicting the quake, as I said, predicting the SoCal quakes.
We're looking at the next 5 days of being pretty busy. Now, Southern California, we're going to have to wait to see what hits in Central California first to determine our fulcrum points down in Southern California completely. But I would say that first we would see the Bay Area and Central California move. Then the Craton diagram comes back into play, because once it gets to Central California, it tends to go over to the east. You see our arrow here? The arrow right in Nevada just got hit over the past couple days with a new 4-point-something earthquake. That was out of Pioche, Nevada. Let's get all the smaller ones out of there and just look at, there it is. So force escaped out of California and goes over to the east. That's what we want to see. And if it doesn't happen, then we've got ourselves a problem. And so we have to wait to see what happens in Central California before we determine Southern California's full magnitude. I will tell you, though, Southern California, we can look between our sets of earthquakes to determine a general area to watch. I mean, it's pretty obvious. We got a swarm going here in South San Joaquin Valley. We got a line of earthquakes going down across Southern California on the on the San Jacinto. So San Joaquin is getting hit with a swarm, and San Jacinto is getting hit with a line of earthquakes. So that means the middle point is the LA basin, east-northeast LA. Well, wasn't that Glen Avon? Wasn't that just swarming this past week? So if it's going to get hit, Southern California, it would be right next to Glen Avon, which I wouldn't be too surprised to see that. I don't think you guys would either, right, after that big swarm. But I think
So, as you just saw, that was the part of the video where Dutch forecasted Carol Palmer. I got in an argument with somebody over that, another geologist. Another geologist said predicting earthquakes is like using a magic ball, But if you look up the definition of forecasting, the very first word under forecasting is predicting something, along with And so whether he predicts or whether he forecasts doesn't matter. It's all the same word. It's just that the geologists and the USGS are twisting the word prediction and using it as basically a crackpot word. That's all they're doing. So if you do look up forecasting and get the definition for forecasting, the very first thing is it says it's to predict. I know, it's all right. But I did get into an argument with that. So anyway, so we're going to move on to his tweet. So a few days later, Dutch ended up tweeting out that someone had hacked his software. So days after Dutch reported another attack on his channel, he stated that while he was live streaming, someone hacked his earthquake software, where he said a hacker populated a 7.0 earthquake in his software, and then he reported it. So this is the tweet showing where that happened. It says, while we were looking for an M7 earthquake to strike California, someone made a video taking credit for this hack and posted it to YouTube per reports from my moderator. So that happened. Now later, he gave out another tweet saying that don't use the Earthquake 3D software. It says, do not download Earthquake 3D. We have found it to be compromised as of July 11th, 2019, where someone was able to remotely hack my copy of Earthquake 3D, make the bell ring as a M7 earthquake while on live stream, apparently even with having full antivirus and firewall on. So, this was right after the quakes in California, where most were looking for an equal, even after the 7.1, people were looking for another quake to hit, in stronger or equal size quake to hit, because the USGS had reported that there was a 9% chance that a stronger quake would hit after the 6.4. Well, it did. That 9% jumped up to 100. So even after that, people were worried that, even a stronger one was going to hit. So I was befuddled by what was going on. Okay, so I've never seen anything like that. And I became a little worried as I use the same earthquake software he does. I use it for personal use, but I was worried when Dutch tweeted out, don't use the software, it's vulnerable to attacks. That worried me mainly because my email was hacked a few months ago. So Dutch had put it out a video showing where Dutch said that one of his moderators found a video of a person claiming to hack his software producing the 7.0. And after I watched it, I was totally in awe. And so here is that video of the YouTuber and his channel that claimed to hack Dutch's software.
July 12, 2019, this is Evil Love. I am a witness to what just happened to Dutchsinse. At midnight on the dot, this idiot here made a fake 7.0. I just trolled Dutchsinse with a fake 7.0. I will do it again at 1 a.m. There are millions of people on edge right now, and this dude thinks this shit is funny.
All right, so, after all that, I got scared. And as I said, I use the same software. And actually, the particular software that Dutch has is the enhanced version, and you have to pay for it. So I had to, I paid for mine. I have the enhanced version. So I was worried about it being hacked. So I did what anyone like me would do, and I contacted EQ3D software developer by email asking if he heard about this, about the issue, and if there would be an update to fix the issue. As I said, I use the enhanced EQ3D version, which you have to purchase, and that was one of the main reasons I contacted the developer. So this is the email I sent him saying this. It's my email says, a friend of mine who uses your software had an issue with a hacker hacking his earthquake software and setting off an earthquake. I bought the enhanced edition. Will you be providing an update for the software? Thanks. So as you can see, I never mentioned the person's name that it happened to or anything further than that at that time. And so the developer got back to me saying that it was extremely unlikely that someone hacked his software. They would have to hack your router, then your computer, the software, and then hack the incoming USGS XML feed. Basically, hacking the software itself wouldn't work. And I'll tell you about that, a little more about that a little later. He did go on to explain that the USGS earthquake system was overloaded during the 6.4 and the 7.1, and the USGS was receiving over 50,000 requests an hour during that period, and errors were occurring. However, the hacking event happened several days later and wouldn't explain the 7.0. Not only that, but someone still clearly claimed to populate a 7.0 by hacking into something. So the explanation he gave as to why it maybe occurred doesn't really count, because it didn't occur. The extra 7.0 didn't occur then, and basically someone is still saying they populated the they hacked the software. So after a couple hours, and after I got that email back, after a couple hours of thinking about it, and something just struck odd to me. So I started asking myself questions like, how did they hack the software and get past the router, the firewall? How did they generate an XML signal? How did Dutch's moderator find the video of the person claiming to hack his software? So I investigated further, and I responded back to the developer trying to find answers. So this is what happened. Let me find. I don't know if that's the right email or not. So I sent him back. What I sent him back was, let me find it. I don't have it up here, and I should have. But what I sent him was, I finally sent him who it was, which was Dutchsinse, what happened, and he had asked me what happened. So I sent it to, oh, here it is, I'm sorry. And this is the response I had to him. I said, if you don't mind taking a look at this tweet from one of your biggest users of the software, this is what he said, along with making a video of the incident, along with the person who said to have hacked the Earthquake 3D software. Here are the 2 links below. I said I just wanted to know if it was safe to use or there would be an update because I use your software as well. And if he doesn't, then I have no idea what's going on, because he was telling us not to use the bug, or not to use it until the bug was fixed. So that's what got me worried about the whole thing. So this is what he sent me back. It says, thanks for sending. Earthquake 3D is fine. If anyone has found any kind of problem, I'd love to hear about it. I've been developing and updating this program for over 15 years. It's very well tested and reliable program. And yes, you'd like to think that, I didn't ask, but Dutch is the biggest user. And he said, yes, you'd like to think he'd contact me if he really felt the program had the problem. He never responds to me, meaning that I guess the Earthquake 3D guy has tried to talk to him before and he hadn't. And as you know, and Dutch is the biggest user of Earthquake 3D and probably the most popular. So he also states that the USGS has generated false earthquakes before, but they pretty much instantly fix them and take them off, showing proof that the USGS can remove any earthquake they see fit, along with Dr. Lucy Jones' public admittance of being able to do the same thing if need be. However, this explanation still doesn't apply, mainly because someone made a video of it happening, and also, like I said, claiming to hack him. With another email, I responded to his question of did anyone see it happen. I explained that the only video that there was a video of the moderator as a witness to the hacking, and showing a YouTube video claiming that they did it, along with the fact that it would happen again at 1 a.m. And that's the only video that it happened, that there was, and the only evidence that there was. So, which it's unclear if it happened again at 1 a.m. The video and the channel was deleted quickly, and no one is sure how the moderator found the video of the hacking claim out of the billion or so YouTube channels. Now, why I'm saying all of this, and I know it seems like that this is not going in Dutch's favor, or I'm trying to accuse Dutch of anything, and I'm not. I love Dutch. This has absolutely nothing to do with his actual work, because I find his work to be legit and I find it to be accurate. This is only to the event of the hacking, just to let you all know. This is nothing further than that. And I know it seems like it's headed towards the direction that the event seems a little staged, and I don't want you all to make a conclusion until I'm done, because I try to be as unbiased as I can. So far, that's everything that happened in a nutshell. But all this just didn't seem right at all. None of it. I myself have 2 years experience in computer technology, along with many years I've spent building and repairing computers. So I found proof from the developer that no one could hack his software. That's not to say that it couldn't happen, but that's unlikely. It's unlikely that someone hacked the Earthquake 3D software, and I'm going to tell you why. The software is just an end user for the XML feed. Basically, whatever the USGS sends through by way of the XML feed gets planted into the software. Hacking the software wouldn't do you any good. And hacking the XML feed at the end user point wouldn't help you either. That would be if I was going to show a picture of that or how that would work, but you can't hack the XML feed on the end user side, which would be Dutchsinse side. You can't do it because, first of all, that's not how that works, and the person hacking would have to introduce the code into the system at a point to where it just wouldn't work, because the XML feed is universal, and the same feed that goes to, let's say, to a third party person in France is the same feed that goes to somebody in the United States, or the same feed that goes into your computer or your neighbor's computer. It's universal. So if a code got introduced at that point, it would go, the code will go to everybody's computer, and that's how that works. The info would have had to be introduced at the beginning of the XML feed data feed at the USGS. And yes, you heard that correctly. So the 7.0 signal that everybody saw would have the only way a 7.0 would have ended up on the end user side, the signal, would be as if it was introduced by the USGS, meaning that, yes, that's what I'm saying, the USGS populated a fake 7.0. Now, whether that was done on purpose or, I would say that you could say it was an accident. However, the video of the hacking incident, somebody claiming to do it, would have been, that means that the 7.0 that was populated was done on purpose on the USGS side. So what I found out is that the XML feed, that they couldn't have hacked Dutch's. They would have had to have hacked Dutch's router. They would have had to hack his computer. They would had to have hacked the firewall in his computer, and then hack his computer, and then turn around and hack the software, and then inside the software they had to have found the XML feed coming from the USGS and then hack that. That would take days. So if he did it, if that happened, then I could tell you, but I doubt it. But what I can tell you is that the only way to introduce to populate a 7.0 earthquake is on the USGS side. Only they can send that signal through. Nobody else can do that. And that's the proof and I'm going to get to the proof in some odd proof in just a second. So from what I've understood, and what you need to take out of this so far, is that the person claiming they hacked Dutch's video or Dutch's system, they didn't hack anything. Nothing was hacked. Nobody hacked into his router. Nobody hacked into his software. Nobody hacked into anything. There was no hacking done. And if nobody hacked, if you can't hack into the software to get to the XML feed, there's no way it happened in the first place. So that leaves only two conclusions. either Dutch faked it and it was all set up for show, or the USGS populated it on their end, and it was done on purpose based on the video. So I'm going to show you an email that I sent to the USGS that is going to shed light on further. It's going to give you more information on what happened. So this is from the USGS. I was following up on an incident to where a hacker claimed he was able to infiltrate your earthquake XML data feed and to add a fake 7.0 earthquake to the XML feed. A video was shown of that person doing that has since been deleted. I was wondering if the USGS was aware of this happening, or if there was such an attack on the USGS earthquake networks. Thanks. So the person that got back to me was Mitch Adelson from the USGS, Menlo Park. He said, "Thank you for contacting the USGS. I will forward this along to the earthquake hazard team webmaster and let you know. Please feel free to contact me at the below email if you have any additional questions." Fallout Shelter, what's up? Sorry, I'm trying to do the show. So now the USGS is saying that as I said in the email, I didn't tell them that any software was hacked, or any email, or none of that. I didn't say that I told them that their own XML feed was hacked. Somebody hacked it and they produced a 7.0. I didn't say who it was. I didn't say a name. I didn't say it was part of an earthquake 3D program. I didn't say anything. You're looking at it right there. You're looking at the info that I have. As I said, if you can see that, it says, "I was following up on an incident to where a hacker claimed that he was able to infiltrate your earthquake XML data feed and add a fake 7.0 earthquake to the XML feed." That's their. I was asking them if that happened on their end, and that's the question. That's the answer. That's what the information I wanted to know, is if that had happened on their end. So, as I said, I never mentioned Dutch. I never mentioned earthquake. Nothing. Anything to do with Dutch, I didn't mention it. However, Mitch Adelson said he would forward it to the computer team, that the webmaster that deals with all that, and he would ask them about it, and they would get back to me. Now, I was getting ready to send... I was actually getting ready to send an email to USGS's webmaster, and their email is webmaster@usgs.com. That's their address. So if there's anything wrong with the site, that's where you go. So about not 4 minutes after I received a response from Mitch Adelson, which it was like, it might have been a total of, probably a total of 10 minutes after I sent the first initial email. So after I got that response back, Mitch told me about that, told me he had no clue. And as I said, I never mentioned nobody else's software. So I received another email from another person at the USGS that was not part of the the webmaster team, but a geologist there. And this is the email I received. It says, "Dear Dan40356, this happened to a guy who does EQ prediction forecast on YouTube. It is not the USGS. Too bad people think he is associated with us." Now, Mitch forwarded this to another woman, said, "I'm not aware of this happening, but I am forwarding to the web team." So he forwarded it to a lady named Lisa, I think Lisa Ward. So without me giving any information about Dutchsinse at all to the USGS, or even mentioning that it was part of a software hack on the end user's end, but part of the I wanted to know if the USGS's system was hacked on their end, because the video and the guy claimed to do it. Well, this is the email I received back, and she mentions that this happened to a YouTuber on YouTube, and it says, as I said, this happened to a guy who does EQ predictions forecast on YouTube, and it's not the USGS. So how would she know that? How would she know who I was talking about? I never gave her any information besides what you saw there. That's it. I was following an incident to where a hacker claimed he was able to infiltrate your earthquake XML data feed and populate a 7.0, and then a video was shown of that person doing that. That video has since been deleted. That's the information I gave. And a person from the USGS I don't even know sent me this one back, saying that she knew that that happened to that person. I don't know how she would have known that. She didn't say any. She must have known the video was deleted. She must have known that it happened. So what I'm going to tell you now, from what I know and putting all this together, so I'm going to put all this together for you. First of all, Dutchsinse didn't get hacked. He thinks he was hacked. Dutchsinse didn't get hacked at all. The software, the Earthquake 3D software that he's using, was not hacked. If it was, you can't introduce an earthquake into the system at that point. The only place to introduce an earthquake into the system, or the code to produce an earthquake, would be on the USGS side. So if the software can't be hacked and the 7.0 was on the other end at the USGS side, and a video was created of someone hacking that event, the USGS knew about it. The USGS had somebody do that, or it was a plan all along. And during that time, if you remember, during those 3 days after, Dutch was waiting for pressure to spread across the United States, and it didn't. And I found that odd. But during that time, a fake 7.0 was populated. And he reported it. And then all evidence of it was wiped clean. The only person that can delete a 7.0 earthquake off its XML feed is the USGS. So I don't know if the geologist, this Lisa Wald lady, had anything to do with that, but somebody at the USGS populated an earthquake, and for them to know about Dutchsinse being hacked, that means that somebody, a subscriber, one of the Dutch's subscribers, is a member of the USGS, and they are following him. And while he was being hacked, they were right there watching it. So, more than likely, it was done on purpose, and whoever's working for the U.S. And the reason they done it was because they need, the only reason to do something like that would to make it for Dutch to report a 7.0 earthquake in a specific area like California, and then him to tweet about it, and then all of a sudden it's all wrong. What would people think? They basically set him up to so he would fail, so he would look like a liar, so he would look like a quack. So that is what I found out about all this. And I have about three quarters of the proof. And I'm not gonna, at first I thought it was all bull crap, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought that the evidence started pointing to Dutch as to him perpetrating his own attack. And I'm not gonna lie to you about it. Terry Taggart, I have no idea who the other ones are. So, and then I, that was where the evidence was pointing. How did the moderator get a video capture out of the billions of YouTube channels? And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. How did they get a capture of that? And then the video's deleted and the whole channel's deleted. And I was like, that just don't sound right. So, and I was that was just a little odd. So, but once I got this email back, once this out of the blue email popped up from the USGS, from someone I didn't even contact, the guy Mitch contacted them. She knew exactly what happened. And I figured out that out of what I found out, I figured out that what happened. And yes, the USGS did populate a 7.0 earthquake in order to fuck with Dutch on his end, so he would report a fake earthquake. And then after that, they deleted it. And as I said, the only way to populate an earthquake through the XML feed is on the USGS's end. That's what happened. And like I said, if you're just now following along, you can rewind the video. But I just wanted to show you proof that Dutch actually wasn't hacked, and that the USGS populated a I would have, at first I could have said it was, I would have, you could have said it was on accident, You know, it could have been an accident. It would have been an accident, or looked like an accident, had somebody from the USGS not created a YouTube channel and recorded the incident happening, saying that they did it. That's what made the difference. That's what made the difference in the whole thing. They should have never, if they wanted to get away with it, they should have never made a video saying that they were the one who done it. Now, I don't know whose channel that belonged to, or whose channel it was under, or which geologist it was, but it was a geologist or an employee of the USGS that made that video. So, you know, so, you know, like I said, had they not made the video, it would have just looked like an accident on the USGS side. And as I said before, there's no way to populate a 7.0 earthquake through the software. It's just not, it's just impossible. You can't do it. Everybody in the world who uses USGS would have shown a 7.0 earthquake. You know, everybody in the whole world would have gotten it. And like I said, somebody, I'm sure that Dutch's 277,000 subscribers, more than likely, several of them belong to the USGS. As a matter of fact, I'm 100% certain on that after what happened. So, like I said, and I know I'm repeating myself, but, you know, so while they were, you know, the USGS is the one who populated that. They created, you know, they created a YouTube page to even record it happening. So, you know, Katie Painter, I'm pretty sure I'm right. If you go back and look at the other evidence that I have in the video and add all the video up, Forsaken, the people don't, the USGS doesn't like, they don't like Dutch. And his method for proving for earthquake forecasting is top notch, and it's right on the money like 95% of the time, if not 100. Usually it's about 95, some high 90s. And the USGS hates him. If you go back and just look up Dutchsinse under Google, he's been attacked on live TV. He's been attacked on several news stations. Several mainstream media articles have been written about him. They just hate his guts. I'm going to tell you that. They hate his guts. So anything they can do to get rid of Dutch is what they'll do. The only thing they can do right now is call him a crackpot and a conspiracy theorist. And honestly, Dutch does make the USGS and all of them look bad. You know, so Dutch is actually really well known in amongst YouTube, not only in YouTubers, but even investigative journalists and the mainstream media knows who Dutch is. And he just makes the USGS look bad because they tell anybody and everybody that there is no pattern to earthquakes, that it's all random, and the sequence of earthquakes is not predictable or forecastable. And well, it is, Forsaken, like I said, I honestly, at the beginning, there was a good 80% chance that I thought Dutch done this to his own self to get attention. I swear, I'm not going to kid you. That thought crossed my mind. That's where the evidence was pointing. And but once I got this email back from a random person at the USGS, and she knew about what was going on, even though I didn't mention anything to do with Dutch or Dutch's software being hacked. She said it was hacked by, she said that she knew about it. So, like I said, all this is Dutch wasn't hacked, but the USGS did simulate a 7.0 earthquake, and then whoever was doing it at the USGS did use a YouTube live stream, did do a YouTube video showing that he was hacked, but he wasn't hacked. The USGS just populated a fake one. So anyway, I'm going to jump off here. I just wanted to show you all that. Maybe I'll try to get a hold of Dutch. I tried to get a hold of Dutch before I made this video to talk to him, but evidently the software guy from the 3D earthquake people, he's right about Dutch not getting back to anybody. So if y'all are new, or if one of you all haven't seen it, go back and watch it. And if you all could show Dutch that he wasn't hacked, and show him that he wasn't hacked, and more than likely there's evidence. Well, there's good evidence that the USGS did it on purpose. And like I said, they screwed up and pretty much got caught. So if I'm going to jump off here, and I appreciate you all watching. And like I said, I don't hardly do live streams, but I wanted to do a live stream about this, and I'm going to try to do more. So if you all like this video and you all want to see more, I do have more videos on all kinds of stuff. So I try to put up about a video every put up a video every I try to put one about every week or so, or every 2 weeks, but sometimes nothing happens. Sometimes I don't get any intel on anything. So like I said, the people watching, Fallout Shelter, I appreciate you watching. Long time no see, brother. Terry Taggart, Forsaken, Carol Palmer. If you all want any more information on any of this, on anything I do, you can go over to Twitter, Disclosuretv News on Twitter. I'm always on Twitter. You can ask Carol Palmer there. I'm always on Twitter. And I hope you all have a good night. And like I said, like and subscribe to my videos. Watch all of them you want. I'm trying to make it to 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 300. And like I said, I hope you all have a good night, and thanks for watching. This is Disclosuretv. And we are out of here.
May God be with you. This is not a test.